I've been saying this for years. Sometimes developers are like, well, sometimes it isn't their fault, right? To release they set a release date like months ago, months prior to the release, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 months in advance sometimes, and they can't change it because if they do, they're gonna get a lot of hate and a lot of heat from fans. I get it, you know. But I'm like, okay, I'm Koei Tecmo, imagine. I'm gonna release my new Atelier game on March 21. Spring. Beginning of spring. It's gonna be fine, right? What's Konami gonna do? Oh, they're gonna release their Suikoden remasters like 3 weeks prior to that. 2 weeks. Oh, we're gonna be fine. 2 weeks different, that's it. And then along comes Ubi shit with a fucking piece of shit of a game. And then along comes Nintendo and Xenoblade a day before. Ha ha ha. Asshole. I'm not saying Koei Tecmo should have changed the release date. You know, they probably couldn't. Well, they were probably upset. Like that Nintendo released that fucking bomb. I mean, you don't just release your obscure, maybe not obscure. I think the Atelier series is like really fucking famous nowadays. Well, you don't do that, you know, you don't release your game like a day after a huge bomb like Xenoblade fucking Chronicles. You don't do that, Koei Tecmo. You should have changed it. You should have said, you know, oh, delayed until next week. Come on, fans, it's just 1 week. What do you consider to be the golden age of the Tales games in the Shin Megami Tensei series? The golden age of the Tales games? I think we just passed it, you know? I mean, sure, we got something like Cesteria that nobody liked. I kind of liked it, you know, I didn't hate the game. But you got Berseria, Exilia, Graces, Vesperia, you know. Some of the best of the best. I think that was the golden age. And then Arise happened, and Arise is still a great game, but yeah, it's just not that. I mean, Berseria is better, Exilia is better. So I think the golden age of the Tales series was like the 2010s, I should say. PS3 era, PS3, PS4 era. You know, that was a golden age of Tales games. And Shin Megami Tensei, I think that the 10s, last decade, you know, the 10s. Definitely, we got 4, we got Apocalypse, we got Strange Journey, we got the Devil Survivor ports on 3DS. So they went nuts. Atlus went nuts with Shin Megami Tensei last decade, you know. So I would say that was the golden age of Shin Megami Tensei, same as the Tales games last decade. I would say that was the golden age. What do you think of the White Knight Chronicles games? They're good. They could have been better. It could have become a huge, super great franchise, but I don't think the games were treated like the right way. There was a lot of confusion because I don't think the developers knew exactly what they wanted to do. Like, they didn't know if they wanted to go fully MMORPG online, you know, or do a regular JRPG, so they ended up with both, and as a result, neither was outstanding. The offline story mode of the games is good, it's recommended. I think it's worth playing at least once, especially because they're short. Unless you do a lot of side quests, but if you focus on the main story, you can beat the games in less than 20 hours each, and I'm not kidding. You know, but the online multiplayer, I never tried it, but I've seen people saying that it wasn't that great either. You know, it was like messy, buggy. It wasn't that interesting. It was kind of boring, you know. So I think the developer Level 5 should have focused all of their efforts in one or the other. Sega did the same. Sega made the same mistake with Phantasy Star Universe. You know, they kind of like, okay, we want to release a new series, a new saga in the series. Let's call it Universe. But I also want it to be online, like MMORPG, you know. But so what do we do? And same outcome, you know. Neither was outstanding or extraordinary. nobody cared, and the saga failed, even though there was 4 fucking games. It didn't fail as hard as White Knight Chronicles, but it failed nonetheless. And it was sad to see it die. I mean, well, Phantasy Star, we know what happened. We stopped getting them. Sega focused more on the online gaming because they made a decision. Unlike Level 5, who didn't make a decision and just let the series die, Sega made a decision. They said, okay, no more regular story offline JRPGs. Let's just do full MMO. And that's what it did. That's what they did. Phantasy Star Online 2 came out. It was a huge success. People still play it. People still play that fucking game nowadays. It's a huge success. We got Nova several years ago, developed by Tri-Ace, but nothing happened. Never left Japan. Fan translation isn't even complete. Nobody cares. But at least Sega made a decision. But Level 5 didn't. He was just like, oh, White Knight Chronicles failed? Fuck it. So he died. It had but wasted potential. That's my answer. I like the games, but they were kind of wasted potential. Kevin King, thank you very much. What are your thoughts on the Xenosaga games? I've reviewed the Xenosaga games a lot of times. I'm a big fan as well. My favorite was number 3. Episode 3 was like, it's a masterpiece. I fucking love it passionately. You know, how the story comes together to a close. Everything is revealed. The Cosmos and Shion relationship kind of ends up in something. I mean, it's just fucking great. Good music. I think the music was great in the first 2 games, especially the second game. But in terms of gameplay and battle system, completely superior. Xenosaga 1 was good, but it had some issues, some balancing issues, and some cryptic stuff in the battle mechanics. 2 was worse in that area, but 3 kind of like made it better and easier to understand. I don't know, man. Xenosaga 3 is like the masterpiece of the trilogy. The other 2 games are like great games and that's it. Nothing super special. 3 is the masterpiece, but 3 wouldn't exist without 2 and 1, you know? So yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan of the Xenosaga games. Amazing games. I made a video called, if you want to know more, check out a video I did many years ago called 10 Things You Didn't Know About the Xenosaga Trilogy. Check it out, it's a really interesting video. I wish they would have worked on the battle system more instead of doing all that stock attack nonsense in the second game. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, you know, the second battle system in Xenosaga 2... The battle system in Xenosaga 2 was bad. It's a bad combat system. I never finished it, you know, I made it really far. But then since I never really understood the battle system, I got to a difficulty spike and I just couldn't go on. I grinded and grinded, couldn't go on. I was like, fuck it. No, never finished Xenosaga 2. Good game, I think it gets a lot more hatred than what it probably deserves. The battle system is ass, you know, but everything else is great. Well, the art style, the 2D art style isn't great. The 3D models look fine though. They look better in Xenosaga 1 and 3. But in terms of art style and graphics, it's probably the worst in the trilogy. But it's still... I don't know, I still like it. I still think it has good graphics. And I like the music a lot. You know, and the story. The story and the music in Xenosaga 2 are untouchable. What's your opinion about Vtubers? Mixed feelings. On one hand, I think it's a bit fake because they aren't showing their real faces, and most of them are, not most of them, but a lot of VTubers are like grifters, and they make all of these dramas and hide behind their avatars, you know, they don't show their fucking face, so it's kind of cowardly. But on the other hand, you know, it's kind of interesting that you can animate a character 2D or 3D and talk for you. You know, it's kind of similar to playing an MMORPG. I played MMORPGs back in the day, and it was kind of cool, you know, controlling a character and people talking to you through the character. So Yeah, mixed feelings, but strictly speaking about content creation, like I don't have a lot of respect for them, to be honest. But I like that there are some that are like 100% against the modern narrative, the political oppression of nowadays, and they fight wokeness and DEI and bullshit like that. So I those I respect. I just wish, well, they don't show their real faces because maybe they feel threatened. I don't know, because maybe if people saw their faces, I live in Mexico. I barely have any Mexican fans, but if I lived in the U.S., some fucking crazy ass hater would have probably killed me by now. I don't know. So maybe I will be a VTuber if I was an American citizen. So I don't know. As live streamers, though, yeah, it's funny that instead of seeing someone's face, you get to see this cute anime character, while they're playing a game, I guess. So I don't know. Like I said, I have mixed feelings, I don't hate VTubers. I'm not against them, but I'm not a fan. Just leave it at that. Like, okay, they exist. It's okay. It's a thing.